I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sandy, could we have the roll call, please?
Councilmember Shippers.
Here.
Spolman.
Here.
Ingalls.
Here.
King.
Here.
Mayor Folkins.
Here. And if, at this time, if we could get a motion to approve the agenda as presented this evening?
I'd make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Support.
Councilmember Spolman.
Yes.
Ingalls.
Yes.
King.
Yes.
Shippers.
Yes.
Mayor Folkins.
Yes, motion carries. This time, we'll open the floor for public comment. We do ask if you come up to comment that you state your first name and then write your name and address for the clerk. And please keep your comments to 3 minutes or less.
I'll be brief. I have a quick comment and a thank you pertaining to the Christmas lights last Friday. Brian Ellenboss, 741 Linden Street. I've seen the lightings and been involved in the stringing of the lights during my days at Maple Hill Cemetery. In my opinion, this was one of the best lightings I've ever seen. There were 10 snowflakes on Chestnut Street instead of the usual 3 or 4. The pump house by the boat launch was nicely done with icicles, candy cane, and a small Santa. I also believe there were more trees lit than in the past. Excuse me. It was a job well done that deserves recognition. The thank yous for me go out to several people, Gabe Marine and Ken Payne, your hardworking street department, and also a few of the young people from the Parks Department. Way to go, people. Cadillac did great. Looks great due to your hard work. And it did look great. It was very good. Very nicely done. Thank you.
Thanks. I have a quick comment. I'm Doreen Lance, Cadillac Community Foundation. I just want to thank Sherry for all her work here. She is a community asset to us. There's no doubt about it. In Rotary, she is definitely a gem, and she's been a gem to the city. So I just want to say thank you.
Okay, seeing no one else, we'll close public comment and move to the approval of the consent agenda. And this evening, we do have the minutes from the regular meeting that was held on November 18th.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Support?
Councilmember Ingalls.
Yes.
King.
Yes.
Shippers.
Yes.
Spolman.
Yes.
Mayor Folkins.
Yes, motion carries. With that, we'll go to the city manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the City Council. This evening, we have one item from the Alliance of Economic Success, or the Alliance for Economic Success. Lisa Leedy, the Executive Director, is here to give us a brief on the projects that she's working on and the organization is working on that are relative to Cadillac. Lisa?
Hello. As Marcus said, I'm Lisa. Thank you so much for allowing me to present an update tonight. I will go through the first few slides rather quickly because some of that's a little bit redundant from the past reports I've done. It's a cumulative report of the third year. So we are the Alliance for Economic Success, and we have been engaged by a group of your business community who has funded some work here to see what could happen if they made an intentional economic development effort here to see if we could make some progress working together. So they put some money together in a fund that's held by the Community Foundation. They determined the list of priorities that they would like to move forward. And we were contracted to do the work for a 3-year period of time. We're closing in on that third year, so I just wanted to give you an update on what we've worked on so far. The ultimate goal is prosperity for everyone, so I think everyone would agree that we all want to be able to prosper in business and personally. Our leadership team is listed in the packet, and I provided printed copies, so I won't go through all that. But we've also had a lot of local partners besides our leadership team. We've also had a lot of partnerships and opportunities to work with different entities in Cadillac. So it's been great for us because we've been able to find different ways to partner and work together with different agencies. So many of all of our opportunities, actually, of things that we've worked on have been in collaboration with other organizations. So our funder list for our first 3 years is listed in as well. I'll go through that really quick. And the very first project that we were engaged with, that we took on, was the housing study. So we did a study to determine the need or show the need to developers of the housing situation in Cadillac. So we sent that out to many different developers. That was just before I started at AES. I took over just shortly after this was kind of already rolling. And as a result, obviously, you've had some interest in housing development here, and you've got some work happening very visibly. So we're happy to have a small part of that. Again, that was a collaborative effort with many different agencies in the area. We also took on some development concerns about Cadillac West and what could we do to revitalize that area. So we partnered with the city, with Rob Mungar, who had a purchase option on the Sands at the time, Networks Northwest, and our leadership team worked together to engage many stakeholders. We had probably 150, I think, in the meetings that attended our public input sessions to come up with some action items to be part of a study. So as a result, we have a Cadillac West study with action items. It's on our website, and I think I've presented that to you before as well, but I can get that to you by email if you would like that. So we're working through to try to help, work through the action items on the study, including branding effort for that area, because we all call it Cadillac West. What should it be called? Things like that. So that's in progress. We've also worked on grants for the WEX. One of the grants was not funded, but one of the grants we'll find out in December. It was a DNR passport grant for the HVAC system. So we've helped them out a little bit. They're a great team to work with. So we've also worked on some business development to help market the properties that are available for commercial entities. It's part of a site selection process that the state of Michigan participates in. So we market properties and what options are available on a site called Zoom Prospector that the state supplies to us, and gives us an opportunity for national organizations who are looking for a location for a new business. It could be a tech business, it could be any type of business that they're looking for a location with certain parameters. So we help participate in that. We were also a connector. We built some relationships with a child care facility that wanted to open a second location, and we connected the dots between a potential place to rent for them and then some funding sources to help make the opportunities happen for them. So Little Bear Child Care out of Buckley opened up Macaulay Children's Center in collaboration with Munson Healthcare. So again, we connected some dots, and as a result, now you have a significantly higher amount of child care seats. And because we do economic development, child care doesn't always come to everyone's mind as a key factor of economic development, but it actually impacts economic development significantly. Michigan is currently ranked 38th in participation from women in the labor participation rate, which is pretty low. And the reason is a lack of affordable child care. So part of the impact of child care is its direct workers. On the average, in every county in Michigan, there's about 700 workers that work in the child care field. But besides that, for every dollar that the federal government spends on child care, it impacts the economy by $3.80 is an increase. So it's pretty significant. Many of you participated in a study that we did over a series of meetings called the Mitchell Street Corridor Study. And I think we've already sent you the completed study, so thank you for your participation in that. I just wanted to highlight something that rose to the top, I think, on all of the different input sessions that we had. If for any of you that participated, you remember that our second session was during a blizzard, and we had already canceled it because of bad weather once. So we wanted to make sure we had a lot of public participation. So we went ahead and we live streamed the presentation from Michigan State University, who took the lead on the public input sessions. So we've put that on our Facebook page, and we had 30 to 50 people at any time that I think looked at that. And then we put the groupings of the pictures that happened at the public meeting on our Facebook page and asked people to provide input. And some of those provided them right on the pictures. Some of them sent private messages. I think the city shared those. We ended up with something like 4,000 comments or something like that. And it was quite a diverse group of people that had a lot of really good input. And it was something that we had never done before, so it was a great pilot project for us to, in a way to get public input for people that couldn't show up there because of various different reasons, but they had the opportunity to provide their input. So as a result of all the different input in person and online, something that I picked out that MSU kept hearing comments repeatedly was the Clam River, about what a missed opportunity it is right now because most of it's paved over. So as a result, we developed a vision as part of the study for the Clam River based on the input, including the streetscape, some of the amenities such as walkability, housing, mixed-use developments, and that type of thing. So the rendering that came out is actually quite stunning. It's probably, I would say, the showpiece of that study was what it could look like over where the Save-A-Lot is if we opened that up and had that as a park around it and had some different development opportunities and features. So this was one of the aha moments to be part of this. I mean, we've done a lot of different studies, but for us, this was really stunning to see the rendering. So here's a cross-section of what it could look like and how it could be better utilized than what it is right now. And I think there's a little bit more detail in there on the different features, such as lighting, the walkability, the different tree features and things like that. And that was all based on that public input. This word grouping is based on the theme of the input we had over the different sessions and the public input. The larger the font size, the more comments were indicating interest in that. So some of the smaller ones where it said a welcome sign, we had a few comments on that, but not nearly as many as improved signage or open up the Clam River, slow traffic down, greenery and landscaping. So that kind of gives you an indicator, just a visual on some of the different things that rose to the top. Rooftop dining was that was mentioned quite a bit. Unification, that was another one, working together. So it was really interesting to see the different input that came out. Our current work right now, some of the things that we have going on, and again, another collaboration opportunity. It was determined we need a current retail study with retail and restaurant leakage, so we could figure out how to fill some of these spaces that are going to the new spaces and the existing spaces. And we need some data to, again, just like we did the housing, to get some developers interested in some of the spaces that are here. So we reached out to many partners to help fund a leakage study, which is in progress right now from the Gibbs Planning Group, and they're exceptional at this. They plan on having it done about mid-December, and when we get that finished, we'll make sure everybody gets it. It was a collaborative effort. Everybody put money in their time to work together to produce the study so that we could share the data instead of everybody having their own study done and being redundant. So it was an opportunity to get a lot of different partners to the table, and hopefully we'll have some good results from that and be able to pass those along the same as we did with the housing. We'll pass those along to developers to try to, in those different industries where we see some gaps, to see if we can get some of the spaces filled to build the businesses. We also just applied for a consumer's energy grant for $250,000. We were one of 14 groups that were invited to submit an application based on a letter of interest that we submitted. So we are partnering with Baker and Cadillac Area Human Resources Association, because one of the things that we hear the most from businesses is that the workforce of today, the people that are available in the workforce, are somewhat lacking in the soft skills department. So it's just something that, because of the different changes in our society, people don't have some of those critical thinking and problem solving type of skills. So some of it can be as basic as etiquette on, phone etiquette, being on time, things like that. Some things more complicated into the critical thinking and those type things, better communication, how to better engage your coworkers. So we asked these groups to partner with us because we feel that we can offer a start to this, a training program that would last a year long. We would, the Cadillac Area Human Resources Association would be our lead advisory panel on behalf of employers to kind of give us the input on how the best delivery method is going to be and who we should best engage and that type of thing. But our plan is to take a multi-tier approach and to train the trainer, so to speak, and offer really in-depth training to those hiring professionals in the area, and then offer open to the public training to the incumbent workforce so that they can develop some of these skills that are transferable from industry to industry, which makes our workforce here more resilient to any kind of downturn in one industry sector. So it's an opportunity. I don't know if we'll get funded or not. We'll find out the mid-December on this one as well. So hopefully, fingers crossed. We also have a grant that's going in on December 5th, and we're partnering with the Wexford SELA Habitat on a neighborhood improvement grant through MISHTA, and that is strictly, we are just going to be the paper person on that and the fiduciary. So they're going to use their programs to do some facade improvements on income eligible homes. And it would be directly for those homes that qualify, and they already have kind of a running list. So it was a natural partnership for us. We have been successful in MISHTA grant, the neighborhood improvement grant for another community. So this would just kind of be that next opportunity. The grant that we're eligible for is $30,000, but we can apply for it multiple times a year. So if we're successful in this round, we would be able to apply again multiple times throughout that next calendar year if it worked out for all parties. So hopefully we'll see some results on that. And so kind of a summary of the 3 years that we have been participating in this area is really kind of a showcase of what's happened as a result of partnering and collaboration. So we've had public, private, and nonprofits all working together toward building prosperity for the citizens in this area. And as a result, there's been significant monetary investment into new housing that offers a better workforce participation in this area. It makes Cadillac more attractive because there is housing, there's a little bit more daycare available, and there's more investment happening. So we're just a small part of that. We are not, we can't do it alone, and we feel that we've had great partners with the foundation and Habitat and all the other different organizations that have been willing to work with us. But we wanted to give an opportunity to kind of let you see some of the things that we've been part of. And as a result of our progress of working together with all the partner agencies, we were able to collaborate, connect, and convene different groups that resulted in a lot of different progress in economic development areas of interest here. Do you have any questions?
Great presentation.
Yeah, this is excellent.
Thank you so much.
I have a comment. I really like what you're conceptualizing with the Clam River. Years ago, I served for a very long time on the Clam River Greenway Committee and was part of putting that walkway all the way through to the other end of town. And when we got to that point where the river was all covered up, we talked about it quite a bit and tried to envision then what it would look like if we uncovered it. And we saw some other communities, like Jackson, I think, was one of the examples. That's actually where the Grand River starts, is in Jackson, if I remember right. And they went through a big uncovering process of the river there in that town. But yeah, good. It's good to see some more energy and some ideas put into it, because I do think there's a wonderful opportunity there for some improved placemaking and building.
The river opportunity just has that kind of started to rise to the top. Ironically, I was born in Jackson, so I'm familiar with the project that you're talking about. But the opportunity to work with everyone here, and there's been so much positive input, and people were a little bit nervous when we put that on Facebook, because you never know what you're going to get on social media. But people were very respectful of each other. The comments were very good, very valid, and very relevant to what the end result was. So it was really helpful for us to do that. We would do it again. I would do that again anytime that we did something like that, because it offered people who you won't necessarily get in a room to be able to provide input. It gave them an opportunity at their discretion, time-wise, to do that. So
Beautiful.
Good.
awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yay. 3 years, that's amazing. That much done in 3 years. Wow.
Okay. We're now under the adoption of ordinances and resolutions. This evening, we have one resolution. It's a resolution to enter into a contract with the Michigan Department of Transportation for trunk line maintenance. This is a standard 5-year contract with MDOT. The last time we entered into one was in 2014. It was a renewal. This agreement allows MDOT to reimburse the city for the maintenance of various portions of M55 and US 131. Majority of that work is all regarding winter-related maintenance, snow plowing, salting, and things of that nature. This has nothing to do with building or replacing streets or roads or new infrastructure of that like.
It looked like it was a new type of contract.
Might be a new template or a new form that they're using, but it's the same information. It's the
And
same.
it's the same
Same reimbursement.
relationship. It doesn't look like we'll be reimbursed any more than what we were before, or any less,
No,
or
it's
anything.
about $220,000 approximately worth of activity that
Annually.
gets reimbursed. So it's, unfortunately, the numbers aren't going up.
Well, the cost is.
Right. Well, but it's,
It's
we
all
get
based
reimbursed
on-
for it.
yeah,
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
based on
yeah,
cost, it
yeah.
looks like. Good. So, do we need a motion to
Yeah.
approve this?
Yep.
I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution to enter into the contract with the Michigan Department of Transportation for the trunk line maintenance.
Support.
Councilmember King,
Yes.
Shippers.
Yes.
Spelman,
Yes.
Ingalls,
Yes.
Mayor Folkins.
Yes, motion carries. Okay, so this evening, the only minutes and or reports that we had was from the Elected Officials Compensation Commission. And if you read your packet, you're going to get a raise.
What if you didn't read
Well,
your
you're not.
packet? No.
No, I'm gonna take a decrease.
You're going to take a decrease, Jerry, but everybody else is going to get an increase the next couple of years. So thank you for that. And at this time, we'll open the floor for our second public comment of this evening. Seeing no one, we'll close public comment and move to the good of the order, if anyone has anything this evening.
You may see some Cadillac Mayor's Youth Council kids out in the next week doing Project Sticker Shock, which is a project that they've adopted, and we collaborate with the police department. And we have stickers reminding people not to buy alcoholic beverages for underage citizens. At Pine River last week, we just dealt with a tragic loss, life ending, and just life shattering loss in our small community down there. And none of them were old enough to get the alcohol on their own. So somebody is still doing this, and it ends badly. So the Mayor's Youth Council is going to be out stickering packaged beer and whatnot to remind people to please, even over the holidays, these are times when folks think, oh, it's not going to hurt just a little bit. They're just here. But there's a reason for the age limit. And you take inexperienced drivers and mix it with even a small amount of alcohol, and you have the kind of thing that we're dealing with down at Pine River Schools. So please, everybody, don't do that. And if you see the Youth Council kids out there putting those stickers on, say hi, howdy, and thank them for all the cool stuff they do around the community, too.
Thank you. No one else? Okay, if not, we'll go ahead and adjourn the meeting. Thank you.